Ethnography 111 was used for my DiscoverE project. I designed a number of different highfalutin things to use with the students on their tablets. What we ended up using was actually far less than what I had originally intended, but that's not to say that what we did use was not useful. And in a couple of cases, pedagogically significant, I would say, for some of my students. The core app that we had built, that I had built much of the course around, was Evernote. Evernote is a great cross-platform, cross-device app that did allow, in fact, it was intended to and it achieved it, did allow students to both take notes during class, capture pictures to add to their notes and all that. That's more of the app things. But a key point that was achieved, illustrating the power of Evernote, was the ability to take notes on PDF articles. Most of the readings for this class are digital documents that are OCR'd and clearly legible for them. I was able to incorporate those into a shared folder in Evernote, and thus the students were able to read them. In a couple of cases, we were able to play around with the shared folder components, and what ended up being is group tagging some articles that we were reading for the class. I must say that the students were somewhat prepared for this prior to the beginning, because we had already been beta testing the idea of coding as a class, coding field notes, or let's say an interview that done from someone that one student did an interview of someone else. Then we as a class were helping that student code different paragraphs of text to imply different topics that were in the interview. It's a classic technique of summarizing your data. Anyway, we've done that through shared Google Docs in the past, before they had tablets. Once they did have the tablets, that process was made considerably easier for several of them. Some of the students still wanted to do it on their portable laptops that they had, particularly some of the students who had nice, light, portable, thin laptops. They ended up using them just as often as their tablets. For the other students, I can think of one in particular. This tablet was her only portable digital device. She didn't even have a very smart phone, and it made for coding data in class during a 3-hour class possible, whereas before, at least for her, it was not possible outside of a computer lab. It was successful, I would say, overall. I know this brief part of the ePortfolio is not about the success, and it was more intended to shoot before rather than after the class. But overall, I think there was some serious value achieved, particularly for the students who didn't have any other digital devices. It did make a difference, and they're all using Evernote now. And frankly, the free version of Evernote I pay for the paid version myself, but it doesn't really make that big of a difference for most of what your typical undergrad is going to need in terms of cloud backup, note taking, even video recording if need be, but I didn't do any of that. Anyway, overall, that's one of the big process. Like I said, I had 6 other different things. I used the attendance app. There's I forget what it's called, and 3 other apps. I didn't get big into Google Classroom as I had hoped, and as colleagues of mine had used with great success. I just didn't do that. But Again, I think my biggest success story is the use of Evernote in this cross-platform, cross-device sort of way. Thanks.